Hello and welcome to today's edition of the Locker Room on Voice of the People TV. I am Jerry, our player high. Thank God it's Friday. It promises to be thrilling as all eyes are on the transfer window. So many things are beginning to happen for a lot of club sides who are trying to sign in players ahead of next season. And of course, the Club World Cup is already done as far as transfers is concerned. But definitely some other clubs are doing the transfer business. And joining me today on the Friday edition of Locker Room, Ikechukwu makes a return. And we also have Mayowa, who gets to join us virtually. And they're ready to break down all the action and share their hot takes on what's going down in the football world. And I'll say let's get into it. So stay tuned, subscribe, and turn on that notification bell for those who are watching us via the YouTube platform. And also, don't forget to call us via the WhatsApp number showing on your screen. And that's also for those who are watching us on LCL TV channel 264. All right. Ikechukwu, it's great to have you join us once again. So much going down in the transfer window, and I know you're excited. A lot is going to happen for Manchester United. Kuna is already in the bag. And of course, Buemo on the way, or anything is still happening for Manchester United. And we hear that Ferdinand is also asking that, please get me Victor Osimhen ahead of Goyo Chorus.
Well, Jerry, good evening and good evening to our viewers. Thank God it's Friday.
Yeah.
And transfer window is still very much open. And I just hope United get top players because this is not a sign, aside Osimhen, right? This is not a sign of a team that's really looking at competing for the top four, or say top six next season. If you could start going for players like Mbeumo, Cunha, players who are in club size that are not even in the top six, it says a lot about what you're looking to achieve at the end of the day. So I don't think this is a very good signs of a positive next season of Manchester United. I just want to see top players arrive. Osimhen, yes, that's a very good one. I just hope United is able to actually bag Osimhen before the transfer window closes, and other top players, and then we can have a conversation about the progress for United.
Yeah, at least yesterday you came on this show and told us that Man United is not a big club anymore. And if they are going for Buemo and Cunha, it shows that they are appreciating the level they are. They're trying to look for quality players who can bring them back.
We don't want to appreciate that level, thank you. What an average United...
You say you're not linked to
That's what I'm
Osimhen.
saying now. That's what I'm saying. I said...
Now you're deflecting.
I'm not deflecting, Jerry.
Okay,
yesterday, the conversation was at that point, no top club is willing. Because when you say someone is willing, you see them bringing out the money to actually get the person. It's one thing to actually...
So you're saying it's audio...
It's just rumor. I mean...
Audio
if
will
Liverpool went all the way to get Florian Wirtz for over 100 million, that's them being willing. The other Manchester City was also interested, but they were not willing to actually cough out that money to sign Florian Wirtz. Liverpool was very much willing, and they actually did what they did. They sealed the deal. That's what willingness is. And for Victor Osimhen, he's a top player. At this point, there's still very much rumor, and rumors are very, very sketchy as far as I'm concerned. But the case of, you agree with me that the case of Mbeumo and Cunha is very much concrete. When the rumor started, it was, they sealed Cunha, and now it remains Mbeumo. It says United want to actually get players at that level, and this is not what a top club wants at this point. No top team, no team that has fallen, from their level that intends to actually rebuild and go back to the top will go after players of that level. United needs to actually go for top players, and these are not one of those top players you start looking at. We have a lot of strikers in Europe. Alexander Isak actually did a very good job for Newcastle United. Yes, they're in the UEFA Champions League this season. These are quality of players that I will be hoping that United will go for and say, okay, yes, the rebuild phases of players started. Remember when Manchester City started building their team, right? When they started getting likes of Robinho, Aguero, these guys are top players already in the world. Yes, you see a team that is willing to actually work on a project, say 4 or 5 years, we want to see ourselves at the summit, and they did it, and now Manchester City is arguably one of the best teams in Europe. That's exactly what I'm actually expecting for United to do. Start getting players that are A players, not this, Mbeumo and Cunha. This is not the sign of team that really wants to do it. You get this sort of players when you've already attained stability. That's when you start getting players like that. Not at this level where many of these players cannot even break into any top team in Europe. This is not what an average United fan who is aspiring to see their team at the summit.
He's still a very interesting player. He can still break into some teams.
Which team? In the top 4.
In the top 4, at least he can break into which are the top 4 teams right now? I think he can still play for Arsenal. Yeah.
As a starter.
Yeah, he can still start at Arsenal.
For who?
Yeah. Take a look at the Arsenal.
For who now?
We're talking about Kai Havertz, for instance. Who's playing their top 9? We have Gabriel Jesus. If you have a Cunha, he should be able to start in that.
But is Cunha a top 9? No.
It doesn't have to be a top 9.
That's the point, right? I mean, every player, every attacker, right? You can actually play in several positions. But
if
to get the best out of
Cunha,
a
he
player,
won't start in that Arsenal
no,
team.
he's definitely going to be playing from the flank. It's one thing for you to be a player.
Is he going to play from the flank at Manchester United? Cunha.
That's exactly where he's going to be playing from. He's not going to
play as 9.
He's not going to play as a 9.
Are you sure?
He's not going to be playing as a 9. Perhaps behind the striker, but he's not going to play as a 9. You see him.
Let's wait and see how that pans out. But let's talk about the Nigerian Football Federation, which has stated that it won't stop Victor Boniface from quitting the Super Eagles after his Instagram post announcing his retirement. Although Boniface later deleted the post, his future with the team remains uncertain. And the NFF respects players' decisions regarding their national team participation. And NFF chieftain expressed that players shouldn't joke about sensitive issues like retirement, especially after a poor performance. Yeah, underline that word, poor performance. And the official disagreed with the NFF spokesperson claim that Boniface was just joking about quitting the team. Instead, the belief players should face consequences for their actions. And the situation leaves Boniface's future with the Super Eagles open to discussion. If he officially communicates his decision to the NFF, it is unlikely they will attempt to persuade him to stay. And the team's upcoming World Cup qualifiers may be impacted by Boniface's potential absence. Let's start off with the update. Boniface made a post and sounded like he was tired. He had seen enough. He's saying he's going to leave. All of a sudden, he deletes it. But now, the NFF is not buying it, saying they are going to respect. The only reason why NFF will respect Victor Boniface for saying he wants to retire is because they also have seen enough. After a poor performance, you are telling us you want to retire and so on and so forth. That means you're already kicking the bucket. You are giving up. You are not going to give your best for the team. Now, even if they invite you tomorrow, the spirit is already there. You're already feeling that you don't want to be a part of the team. So it's more like they're forcing you to be a part of the team. And this is not the time we need players who are not focused. And I think his playfulness is also going to cost him a lot of problems in the national team. I
agree. And for me, sincerely, I don't want to believe that was actually a joke from him. I think deleting it was an afterthought.
Yeah.
Yeah. Perhaps he got to a level emotionally that, I can't take this. It seems this thing is not working for me again. Let me just, call it quit at this point.
He also did the same at his club side. He also made some comments about his club.
So the thing is, it just be like when you see a bird, the park say, oh no, but the bird won't fly. You can't do like say one pick stone. The bird can't fly. They say like you make the bird fly. That's exactly what Osimhen is actually going through at this point. Boniface rather. He wants to actually leave the national team at this point. He's not comfortable with him coming and not contributing to the team. I understand how he feels. But then you come here, you've decided to actually call it quits, which for me, I think it's an error. For a serious national team, right, a country that really, really respects their jersey, Victor Boniface will not get a call-up again. He will not get a call-up again because as far as an average Nigerian is concerned, Victor Boniface is not a part of the Super Eagles. He has not shown, he has not even given 15% of the quality we've seen him, give at his club side. So definitely nobody is going to see him and nobody is going to miss him. That's exactly what it is. That's why it's easy for the NFF, like you said, to actually come out. You know what? We respect your decision.
Yeah, bye-bye.
And I think it's better for him this way instead of because he hasn't gone through what Iwobi went through in the last Nations Cup. So for him to actually easily just stay out of it at this point, for me, I would have really advised, or I feel he should have actually just retired without even putting out the post. When they call him for the national team, he just give one excuse. He can actually do that, through a third party, maybe his club side. Tell them I'm injured. Tell them this. Tell them that, and just keep staying out of the Super Eagles until he gets back to form. I think that's what he really needs to do. He needs to concentrate on his club career and then get back to form. The Super Eagles door will always be open for him to come back.
All right, and of course, so the Super Eagles should not be a place where he will try and resurrect his football career. And Mayowa, it's great to have you join us. I know you've been trying to source for players for Manchester United going into next season, but at least take a break and join us, and let's talk about your your man, Victor Boniface, the NFF has said, do us the honors. If you decide you want to retire after a poor performance, how dare you telling us you want to retire? So if you want to retire, don't worry, I'm not begging you. Retire, don't worry, we'll have a testimonial for you when we are ready.
Well, it's always amazing to be here. Well, Victor Boniface reserves every right to decide to play for Nigeria and not to play for Nigeria, and he has decided to go down route. I would have expected that he doesn't need to, announce it that way. He's just 26. There is no reason to be announcing the fact that you are not playing for Nigeria anymore and the rest of that. I think what he did was more like throwing a tantrum. You are in the business of criticism. If people criticize you, they expect you to do better. I would not expect him to be throwing tantrums. I was a bit disappointed when he said, he wants to try and hang his boot and the rest of that. However, I think we have a whole lot of players that can freely his place in. Yes, in as much as, I've constantly said that the way he has been deployed in Nigeria has made him ineffective, and that might, add to the fact that, he has not been able to perform for Super Eagles. However, as a professional, there is no need to throw tantrums when you are being criticized. You are supposed to take it on the chin and move on. What if he goes to another club and you find it hard to cope? A typical example is Fernando Torres. He was doing well in Liverpool, went to Chelsea, and it became a flop in Chelsea. The only time he was effective was in the Champions League, but he took it on the chin and he was able to deliver the Champions League to Chelsea. So I think Victor Boniface is just throwing the tantrum, and I don't think there's any need to beg him. Even while he's playing for Nigeria, he's not doing so well. So there is no point. We have other players that are ready to step up and ready to play for the Super Eagles. So, Victor Boniface, thank you for your service, but we will not miss you.
Thank you for your service. We will not miss you. I didn't know that day will come very soon when Maiwa will say this. But it is what it is. I think even Maiwa has seen enough as far as Victor Boniface is concerned. Let him get his acts together, and of course, we'll welcome him back to the national team on his own terms, not on the terms of. If it were Osimhen that was saying he was going to retire, oh no, I will be the one that will lead the entourage. You go and plead with him. Osimhen, what's the problem? Come, don't do that. Calm down. But for someone who has been tested, trusted, and not okay, tested and not trusted, and you are still bragging, telling us you don't want to. I think the NFL understand the language. Don't worry. Go and enjoy your football career. I think he's still hurt by that move to Saudi that did not work out. And I think even Al Nassr, who signed on I'm trying to remember the player's name.
John Duran.
Duran will be regretting now because the guy is saying that he wants to leave the Saudi League. He's already tired. He has seen enough. Just less than 6 months, you're already saying you're tired with all the money you've collected. Seems that guy must be investigated. Anyway, it is what it is. Let's still talk about the head coach of this. I imagine how Boniface will feel. Look at what I was dying to get. This guy gets it in 6 months. He's already saying he wants to leave. Just imagine.
It's about the passion for him.
It's the money for him.
It's about the passion for John. John Duran is actually 21, 22, very young at that point. So this is very much, the money is tempting. The agent, he really didn't. I don't think he has the experience or exposure as how this thing really works. He feels, with the kind of form, 2 seasons and 2 months in England. If I go there, I'll bloat him about. There's Cristiano Ronaldo there. I'll actually play with him, and then definitely, we're going to do great things together. But then he got there, it became a different kettle of fish.
The real news is that his girlfriend is tired of Saudi Arabia. Wants him back home back to Europe. That's why the man has decided to change his mind. See the power of a woman. Anyway, it is what it is. That's the information I got as far as Duran's situation is concerned. But of course,
Jerry,
power.
Jerry, even if the girlfriend wants to return, if he's happy there, he's definitely going to find a way to actually make the girlfriend actually stay.
You've not seen a woman that is conned. A woman that wants you to leave now. Okay, don't be in that situation. You see, everything, they will frustrate everything. My wife, at least.
I mean, not be a wife now.
He don't want to be his wife. If he loves the girl can control anything. But no power. See this part, you don't even know what's up.
Well, Ikechukwu might not understand. He has not walked down that route. I think both of us will understand more
No,
than
no, he's not married. That's what I'm saying.
Of guys will understand.
Wait,
He doesn't have to be married.
my wife. No,
He doesn't have to be married.
there are certain level of commitment you show to your wife. I can understand that one. If your wife wants to move, that's quite because that she's now part of you, right? She's now a part of you. But a girlfriend, come on. I mean, for a player whose career is still very much rising.
You not see young men who ostracize their family because of girlfriend. I'm not even talking about
but you
wife.
know that's not wise.
Very true.
It's not wise, but it is what it is. When the woman have done all the necessary things,
What is the necessary things,
in the other room, but again, we will not be thinking straight again. So let's leave that story. You know what I'm saying. Well, anyway, let's talk about the head coach of the senior national team of Nigeria, Eric Chell, has no issue with players born abroad requesting to play for Nigeria, but he won't actively chase any of them unless they signify their interest of playing for the team. And Chell has already capped German-born Werder Bremen defender Felix Agu in the Unity Cup, playing him from the start and the 2-2 draw against Jamaica in the final, which Nigeria later won 5-4 on penalties. I think this is the way to go. Don't beg anybody. The national team already has a pool of talents who are even begging to play for the national team. If players like, I'm trying to remember the Newcastle player who declined playing for the Super Eagles. Not Shalom, maybe the recent forward, I'm trying to remember his name.
Jacob Murphy.
Yeah, Murphy, who said he doesn't want to play for the Super Eagles. Even Tosi Adarabre, who has been dribbling himself, let him know why when he turns 30, when you start begging, maybe when the team qualifies for the World Cup by through hook or crook, then you will now start seeing them saying, I'm ready to play for the national team now. I think that's not going to cut it. The era has come where you don't need to beg anybody.
Well, I mean, Jerry, what you say is actually true. But the problem is why it feels like we continue to go down this route is because we've not put our house in order.
Yeah.
You only say, yes, I will not beg. Just look at it this way. You don't want to beg for food, but you don't have a farm where you can actually cultivate your own food. Right? Necessity will always make you beg at the end of the day. That's exactly the position we are in. So it's not enough to actually say, yes, we'll not beg for players to actually come. What exactly are we doing to ensure that we'll not beg for players to come? Lip service is one thing we are very good at in this part of the world. And we'll continue to do that until we start doing what is necessary to ensure that those issues are actually fixed. Jacob Murphy, Tosin Adarabioyo, Tomori and co. will continue. Many of them will continue to come out, from different parts of the world. We'll continue to beg them until we start having a proper talent pool here in this country to where we can actually get the best. It is not even a Nigerian problem alone. Look at Cameroon. You start seeing foreign-born players coming back home. Look at Ghana. You see foreign-born players.
Even Morocco.
So it's part of it, right? It's part of it. It is one problem we've not been able to actually deal with here in Africa, and particularly in Nigeria. I mean, Morocco even have an academy. They have a sporting program. They call it King Mohammed the Fourth, project. Right? They've been churning out top players. Yes, they're also bringing back players from. But then the system is actually working. Moroccan league is one of the best leagues in Africa.
Sure.
So now we don't even have that a semblance of what they have in Morocco. So even if we talk about Morocco doing it, other countries in Africa, look at South Africa. We might look at South Africa and say, okay, we might have superior talent, but in terms of infrastructural development and sporting development across board, not just football now, South Africa is way far.
Yeah.
So when we want to achieve the right thing, we need to start building our own project so that we'll stop begging. Now, person will get money, will say no, go beg.
Definitely. Yeah, Mayowa, it is a very interesting situation. It means that it's going to even be precarious more for the NPFL players because a lot of competition will be up for them as far as the foreign-based stars is concerned. We also what happened at the Unity Cup. I must say the home-based players will have to work extra hard to match the quality of the foreign-based stars to make the national team.
Well, the thing is, I think it's a right approach. I mean, it's a right stand. You don't have to beg people to represent the country. I've said it over and over again. There is no reason to beg anybody that is not choosing Nigeria first to come and play for us. We have seen it over and over again. However, Ikechukwu says something that is very, very important, and which is this. beggars are not, are not people that will make choice. Beggars go with whatever they give them. And that's just it. Look at our current national team. Look at the current setup. Out of the 11 players, how many of the 11 players are Nigerian born? Out of the first 11, how many of them, the first regular 11 that play for us? Remove Wilfred Ndidi, remove Moses Simon, remove Nwabali. Who else again? Every other person, they are foreign born. Every other person, they had the opportunity to play for other country. And Osime, they have the opportunity to play for other country. Victor Boniface is out of the national team, so I'm not including Victor Boniface. But every other team, every other person in that team, out of 11 players, 7 of them are foreign born. It goes to show how little we have done with our development of football. And Ikechukwu said something that's very, very also important. If we don't put the infrastructure down to have a talent pipeline to produce these players, we will continue to beg. Yes, the begging might be different. Maybe before we have been laying down on the floor flat to beg players. Maybe in the case of Excel, we'd rather stand up and put our hands behind our back. But definitely, we are going to beg. There is a need for us to fix this issue. And fixing this issue starts with when we fix our age grade competition. If we fix our age grade competition, that we have an academy, we have a system in place that is producing younger talent. At under 17, we have about 23, 24 players, or even 30 players that make it to a particular tournament. Yes, all of them might not be successful at the end of the day, but at least we get 3 or 4 of them that will progress further. The same thing for the under 20, the same for the under 20, the same thing for the under 23. And from these places, that is where we are going to get, players for the national team. At the moment, the structure is not available. What we have at the moment at the 8th grade level is we're going to have a goalkeeper that is claiming he's 15-year-old, whereas he's almost 40 and is claiming to be 15. Those are the kind of structures we have. Until we get the structures right, we will continue to beg for inborn players to come and represent us.
All right, and of course, I know Ikechukwu is already preparing to play for the under 15. All he just needs to do is to have a clean court. And of course, he will play under 17. You see, I've told you the story before, where I started this journalism as covering age grade, grassroots football. I've seen a situation where an age grade grassroots coach will be looking at players and determine the level they will play. The player, it was a player came in my presence and he looked at the player, he said, "How old are you?" The boy said he's 22. He knocked him on the head and said, "Come on, you are under 11. 22 years old, under 11. He said, "Go." He brought another one. He looked at it and said, "Under 15, go." I was shocked. I said, "Is that how they do it here?" They said, "Okay, just watch and learn." I said, "It is well." Imagine 11 years removed from that boy's age.
That's 11 years.
Then he will not play under 17 at 22. Then before he gets to under 23, he would have been 26. Then by the time he starts playing for the Super Eagles, he would have been 30. Then he will just play 2 years. He will start getting injured. You will not even know what happened again. We'll now start looking for another players again. The thing is that the structure cheats the young ones. It's unfair. It's not mostly their fault. Had it been there's a structure like we have abroad, we'll have a situation where a system will protect the young ones in making sure that they achieve their talent at a good young age. Imagine that 22-year-old, as at 11, he already had the opportunity to play in the grassroots and be discovered. He will have no need to cheat or even lie with his age because the opportunities were there for him to use his talent and achieve his aim. That is why I always cry when we don't do things right. A lot of generations are denied opportunities to discover their talent. But it's unfortunate those who are running sports only care about their own personal pockets. But let's talk about where things are going right for Tolu Arokodare. We hear that the man is ready to switch from his club side in Belgium, and he has already appointed a new agent. And Arokodare has 3 senior caps for Nigeria and has been rumored to be on the radar of top teams in Europe, largely due to his form in Belgium with Genk. I don't know whether Ikechukwu will fancy him more than Kunia. Since you are not pleased with Mbuemo, at least Arokodare is a proven striker. He has destroyed defenses in the Belgian league. Why is Man United not showing interest? We have a caller. Let's take the call. Hello, you're welcome to Locker Room. Your name and where you're calling from. Hello. All right. It seems he's not ready to talk to us. Are you with us on Locker Room? Okay. Maybe he's busy discussing with Ineos.
well, Jerry, I don't know. I don't know why you feel
Aro
Kodare should be a good fit for United. This is not about.
He's a fine striker, no doubt. He's a fine striker. Let me just say the truth. Let's be factual. He's a beautiful striker. Aro Kodare is a top talent. I don't know why you're shocked. This guy is the best player in the league, in the Belgian league last season. He was tearing defenses apart. We are talking about.
And Liverpool is looking for
a
striker.
player who's 23 goals.
And Liverpool is looking for striker.
You know, you already admit that Manchester United is no longer a top club.
That's exactly what I'm saying. United is.
So you need players who are at that level, who can move you to top.
No, Jerry, see.
You cannot sign. Okay, for instance,
Man City signed Robinho from Madrid. Signed Aguero from
they were not as bad as Manchester United.
Where were they at that point?
At least they didn't finish 16 in the league that season.
They were not a top 6 team at the point.
But they did not finish 16.
It doesn't change anything. Jerry, if you
changes because now the club is in crisis.
Jerry, there's
no hope for the future.
Let's be honest with ourselves.
Okay.
If you finish outside the top 6,
okay,
right, and you didn't relegate, you guys are practically on the same boat.
No,
why? Because
definitely not. I disagree.
How?
100%.
How?
Somebody who struggled playing from 14, 16.
That's one season now. It's not like it's not like it's a norm.
No, this thing has become something that was
Jerry,
inevitable.
This issue of 14, 15 is just a season.
No,
United has been bad couple of years, agreed. But this issue of 15,
long term.
What I'm simply saying is
it's been long term.
Jerry, what I'm simply saying is this.
Let's say the facts.
A team that wants to actually.
Let's talk about Aro Kodare.
That's what I'm saying. I know. Wait, a team that actually wants to make progress.
Okay.
A team that actually wants to make progress.
Okay.
That's why I'm using Manchester City as an example.
Okay.
You have a project you are building. Say give it 2, 3, 4 years. 4 years project. You need top talents to come in, settle in, and then you start. I mean, I'm not against Manchester United signing a player like Aro Kodare if United were to be a stable team. United have signed Julian Alvarez when he was barely known, when he came from South America, although he's the best player in South America before he arrived. But, I mean, he was barely known in Europe. Real Madrid is signing Mastantuano now, still very barely known in Europe. He's also a top talent. There are other top talents at this level, you know, with at this age of Aro Kodare. What I'm saying is, a team that is stable can actually bring in this player.
Okay, we have another caller. Let's take this. Hello, you're welcome to Locker Room. Hello. All right. Okay.
Jerry, a team that is stable can actually bring in a rising talent. That's what Aro Kodare is, okay, right? You're allowed to bring in a rising talent. But a team that is looking to actually go back to where they are before, as regards being at the top, at this point, you don't need rising talent. You need players.
Okay, let's take this. Hello, you're welcome to Locker Room.
Hello. I can hear you, sir.
Yes, we can hear you now, loud and clear. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. My name is Frank. I'm calling from Port Harcourt.
From Port Harcourt. Go ahead, Frank.
Yeah, I want to just contribute to the issue concerning Mr. Victor Boniface. I think that's what you're talking about.
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah. So my observation first is that he is not confident of himself. That is why he's throwing the towel without any reason that. So, and again, there was one of our man that said we need someone that we need a player that will see the big picture, that one will key into the big picture.
Yeah.
And like you are saying, it is this guy that are coming from outside, although they are Nigerians, they don't know that we here at home, we are about love relations. It has to do with national team. We are not, some of us are crazy about it. So it is important that anytime we invite them, they should know
that we're not just looking at we take it as no other thing again when we're playing.
Yeah.
So that guy, if he's going out, I know that if he's going out, God will also provide another better one that will better than him. We have players. I don't want to believe that we don't have players.
Okay.
It is he that we won't regret, not Nigeria as a nation. It is he that we regret.
All right.
So I think you go and ask other people who are praying for Nigeria here.
All right.
So I think that you that are talking here should be able to woo him back, let him know that the decision he's taking is a wrong step. It's not going to favor him. I said he's not ready, he's not a serious person. I see him as not serious another person.
All right, thank you very much.
See how Osimhen is getting crazy. This is how we play. How many of our players play football.
Thank you very much.
When you want to play ball, when you put on our Nigerian color, you do it as if it's another thing.
All right.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much for your contribution from Port Harcourt. We deeply appreciate your contribution on the show, and of course, even said I should advise Victor Boniface.
I know you.
I'm not in the best position. Why?
I was just
I think Victor Boniface should not need my advice. Because if I advise him,
when I
you know how to play with the national team.
When I heard you should talk, I said,
no, maybe my one can talk to Victor Boniface, but not Jerry, because I've seen enough.
But I mean, I know Victor Boniface is always on social media, and I know you always see our clip on social media. And this is to Victor Boniface. See, you are not above criticism. People can criticize you if you don't do well. You have been given the opportunity, but throwing a tantrum like a kid is not the solution. You are still a good player only if you improve yourself playing for Nigeria. And that's what everybody is clamoring for.
Yeah.
If you score goals, everybody will celebrate you. Victor Boniface, do better and come back to the team.
All right, let's take more news right now. And of course, this is the best time to be a Liverpool fan, as the Premier League champions have agreed a £116 million deal. £100 million goes to Bayer Leverkusen, then £60 million in add-ons to sign the German attacking midfielder Florian Wirtz from Bayer Leverkusen. The fee for the 22-year-old looks rather interesting, and those bonus payments would only become payable if the Reds achieve a sustained level of success, which would then make it a British record move. And of course, the British record for an initial fee remains Chelsea's £107 million signing of Argentina midfielder Enzo Fernandez from Benfica in 2023. Chelsea also brought in the Brighton midfielder Moses Caicedo for an initial £100 million fee, which would rise to £115 million. And of course, the move will either be a club record for Liverpool. Florian Wirtz, finally, at 22, he still has time on the side to prove himself.
It's actually a very big move for Liverpool. Arguably one of the best creative midfielders in Europe at this point. I mean, if you saw what he did, in that season they actually went unbeaten in Germany. You understand that yes, this guy is actually the future of German midfield. And seeing him, play side by side with Jamal Musiala is going to be, one of the most beautiful things. It's going to remind us of the Xavi Iniesta era in Barcelona. And of course, Liverpool just bagged a man who, they're really going to enjoy for years. I mean, still quite young. They get at least, 8-10 years, minimum to enjoy his services. And it doesn't look like an injury-prone player. That's another very, huge. I must say that Liverpool contingent that actually worked on this, they actually did their risk assessment very well. He's level-headed. He's a thorough professional. He's hardworking, and this is sort of player that's actually, I think, is built for the Premier League. Yeah. But then showing all you have in Germany and coming to England to actually do it is another kettle of fish. A lot of players have actually shown that spark and then come in and fizzle out. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So
the pressure of the price tag.
Yes, exactly. And of course the pressure of the team you're playing in. Liverpool is another very top team, bigger than where he's coming from. So it's going to be and of course defending champion. So there's a lot of pressure. We want to actually retain this title. We want to go as far as what we did last season. We want to best our Champions League chance. All of this is going to really play out, and I don't know how big, or how broad his shoulder is to actually carry all of this weight. Because playing in the middle of the park, you feel you most likely like the creative force in that particular team. And trust me, if he doesn't live up to half of the price tag, it's going to be a very, very bad season for him. And for a young man, this sort of energy, perhaps he may not be able to handle the reaction that comes psychologically, knowing how Liverpool fans can actually throw tantrums and react to issues like this. So
I understand the bitterness. The thing is that
it's going to be quite difficult for him to actually handle it. I mean, we saw what happened, how they actually treated a legend in Arnold when he was leaving. It shows how difficult Liverpool fans can actually take.
And he was still showed love when the trophy was handed to Liverpool. All right, let's take another call. Hello, you're welcome to Locker Room.
Good morning, guys.
Yes, great to have you.
This is Tauri from Chicago.
Tauri from Chicago. How is Chicago today?
Chicago is beautiful.
All right, go ahead.
We are coping a little bit, yeah.
Right.
Okay, I want to chip in a little bit. Regarding of our players, Nigerian, they don't train us for soccer. No, we know how to play from the street. We grow up from the street. That's already give us setback alone. Because I want to tell you guys my story. When I moved from Nigeria to here, that was 2004.
Okay.
2004. I landed to New York. Then I asked for I just try and go and practice every morning. Then the first person I saw, Emeka Eziogu. Because I went that one Nigerian jersey that time. I'm practicing by myself. Then he's staying by my side. He's staying by my house. I saw him that day. I think he saw me with Nigerian jersey. That's why he walked to me. He walked to me by himself. Then he tested me. He played ball to me. I played ball to him again. Then he asked me, "Where are you from?" I said, "From Nigeria." He said, "You play ball?" I said, "Yeah." Then he said, "Look at this face." That's the question. I said, "Look at this face. Do you know any? Do I resemble anybody?" Somebody just tell me that, "Oh, this is a good." Then I said, "Oh, Emeka Eziogu." Say, "Yeah, it's me." Then we started. He want to help me that time a lot. The first thing that the first coach that he brought to me, they asked me. They say, "How old am I?" Then I was 30 years old already. That time I was then I have to say, "Oh, I don't know what to say." I was like, he said, "Okay, talk now." Then I say, because I already have my real age, I can't lie anymore. So I said, "Okay, I'm 30. He said, "You are 30? You know how to play ball. You don't know." First thing, that Oyibo man, the first thing tell me, say, "You don't know Oluwole in Nigeria."
Yeah,
That's the first thing tell me. He said, you don't know anything about Oluwole. I said, "What do you mean?" I'm from Lagos. That's my area. That's where I come from.
Wow.
He said, "Why did you bring this kind of age?" Just to let you guys know, they already know us. And then when I started playing for school, story changed. A lot of crowds come to me, but I can't present my age because I already passed. They don't want to hear you are 25, 26, you're 25, 26, 27. You just started your career. No. If you know how to play past anybody, they won't sign you. Because they know you're just going to give them 2 years, maximum maybe 3 years. Because the kind of practice they will give it to you, it will show.
Yeah.
That's what happened. That's what tell on the Boniface, whatever we are just saying. Boniface already hold before you leave Nigeria. Let's forget about that. This is the facts. This fact I know. By the time I started playing, people are starting coming to me like, "Okay, you know what? You can play, but if they give you that kind of practice, that kind of training, it will show your age definitely." That's why I give to the Olise, Okocha, whatever. I give to them. Even that time that we saying they are old, at least maybe they reduce 2, 3, 4, 5 years old in their age. That's what make them last a little bit. And at the same time, they don't last. But at the same time, they last a little bit. Because majority of them still playing like 5, 6, 7 seasons.
Yeah.
Look at Martins. Martins grew up in my hand. Martins grew up in my hand at Lagos. He was staying at Orile. His brother, Ladi Martins, is already died right now. We played together. His brother have to play 10, I have to play 4. There's a guy that's called Said Adesina. He's still Orire too. So we play together. So I mean, in Nigeria, they don't teach us. That's the problem we have. All the practice, all the playing that we're playing on the street is one. I mean, that time we should be established. We should be established as under 10, under 5, under 7. And then if you are going up that time, we'll be good. But we started late.
Wow.
If you started late, and then that's why I can't play ball.
Wow.
Nothing stopped me. That's anybody that saw me. One day when I come to Nigeria, I'm gonna make sure I come to your station.
Definitely will.
I will make sure. I will make sure. Then I will. So we already hold before we even started. So I mean that I can't blame the boys.
Yeah.
I'll blame the federation because, like you said the other time, you said they just. I mean, what a specialist in their embezzled money to their account. That's what they specialist. They don't. I mean, God will save us in Nigeria. That's the only thing I can say. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Tarid. That was a good expose, and of course, definitely, Tarid, will appreciate anytime you come back home. We'd definitely love to have you in the studio, and of course, to buttress what we normally say here, because definitely, the thing is that I'm not one for those who just bump in and want to say anything because I want to say it, just because I want to come here and please our viewers. I want to say something I know I can defend, something that I have experienced. Apart from maybe when it comes to the Nigerian football system, I've seen some very interesting things that sometimes I cannot even say it, just because so that the government will not say Jerry is demarketing Nigeria, so that will not be in the news for the wrong reasons. But we have to say some things the way they are. And of course, Tarid has just portrayed a lot of things. I think if Tarid was given an opportunity when he was younger, I think he would have maybe played for the Super Eagles. But unfortunately, he had to travel abroad before somebody saw him and say, okay, that's why you see some of our good talents need to go abroad before they'll be recognized. If Victor Boniface was playing the MPFL, I'm telling you, nobody will even invite him to the national team. Of course, we'll not see him playing for Bayer Leverkusen as well. So, Maiwa, it is what it is. You heard from the horse's mouth, and we're just talking about he had to take us back. But we also were talking about Florent Wirtz being a good signing. And there's something about Florent Wirtz that I discovered. Do you know that this guy's weekly wages is paid to the account of his parents? And they only release a stipend to him weekly. He says he's playing football not because of money. He's playing football because he loves it. And he's somebody who has a strong-willed mind. He wants to focus on his football. I think already he's showing signs of discipline. And that is why I'm so much interested in this young lad. He's 22. He knows himself. And of course, I can't wait to see him tear the Premier League apart. My one.
Well, the thing is this, and that is the reason why, Liverpool mean business. And I will not be surprised if next season Liverpool is up there again, competing and probably even win the league. Because, I mean, they are showing intent. They are not stopping. They won the league and they are not resting on their laurels. Bringing a Florent Wirtz in is an indication of their intention of what they want to do next season. They want to continue to compete. And I'm 100% sure, and Slot has already delivered the EPL. He will be looking at probably delivering, the Champions League. They were a bit close, apart from PSG, which, gives them another advantage, in the middle of the park. And that's the reason why, they are going after him. But Ikechukwu making mention of something that's very, very important. At 22, you have a price tag of 116 million. There is a whole lot of pressure that comes with that. We came under the pressure. That is what we are here to see. I mean, because a whole lot of people will expect a whole lot from you. A whole lot of people will not give you the room and the opportunity to make mistakes. A whole lot of people will also forget that this man is just 22. He still has a whole lot of development, he still have a whole lot of development to go through. And he's coming from another league, coming to an EPL that is very pacey with high pace and also the scrutiny of the media. I just hope, and Slot is able to manage him and also manage kind of expectation around him. If they give him time, I think it's going to flourish, and it's a goodbye for Liverpool. I hope Manchester United, they are watching and they are taking note on how to, rebuild the team.
No, they will not learn. The only learn they will learn. They will go and sign a like-for-like player, like the way they signed Højlund, because the name sounded like Haaland. And the guy gave them Oluwole style. Anyway, the way they also went to sign Harry Maguire, because Liverpool signed Van Dijk, they forgot it's not by the money, it's by the quality. Anyway, it is what it is. But there are news that is coming up that even Liverpool is showing interest in Julian Alvarez. And Maiwa, you know Julian Alvarez very well. He played for Manchester City. If any news about him moving to Liverpool happens to be true, imagine the firepower Liverpool will possess going into next season.
I just don't want to imagine.
You don't want to imagine?
I don't, because this guy is a proper baller. He's deadly in front of goal. He can actually contribute to interplay. He understands, movement in and out of the 18-yard box, and he's also a very good second striker to the top nine. So Liverpool is getting an all-round player who is also creative, right? For a Premier League lover, yes, I'd love to have him back in England to be part of the top players in the league. But then, as a person who is not a fan of Liverpool, I don't want to see him put on that jersey, because it's going to be a very big problem. I think Liverpool already have.
Don't worry, we'll take it easy when we are playing Man United. We'll take Alvarez, just score 2. Salah, just score 2 and leave the match. We can remove them, then we'll bring in Jota and Co. to just play around with Gakpo. But Gakpo, he loves scoring against Liverpool, against Man U. Maybe we'll just allow him score 1, just to make it 5. We are good.
Is Man U the only team in England? Why you say against Man U?
No, Gakpo always finds his way. I hope Onana will not be in goal. It's not going to be fun. Why? I pray Onana is not going to be in goal against Liverpool next season. It's the Alvarez joins with Florian Bates.
Well, I think, irrespective of banter, I think I want to see Julian Alvarez back in the EPL. Guardiola made a big mistake selling Julian Alvarez, and he told on that particular team. Remember, when his key players were not available, Julian Alvarez always step up, and in selling him, contributed to where they finished this season. I want to see Julian Alvarez back in Liverpool. I want to see what he can offer. The EPL next season will be very, very interesting with the acquisition from Liverpool. I hope Man U and the rest can keep up.
All right, don't worry. Even they want to steal Mbuemo from Tottenham, but time will not permit us to talk about that. And of course, I don't know what Ikechukwu bought from Joe Phil. He's on the YouTube platform. He said, I love this joke on Ikechukwu because he feels nobody is trying in the senior team. What does he mean? Is he trying to say what?
He's a Liverpool fan.
He's not a Liverpool fan. I don't know what he bought from Joe Phil. He's only
the guy is a Liverpool fan.
We have to wrap it up. Ikechukwu and the Bayowa. Have a great weekend, guys. We'll see you on Monday. And of course, a big thanks to those who called in, and a big thanks to the guys behind the scene talking about the likes of Manfred, Adura, as well as Ikechukwu, not leaving out Jeremiah. My name is Jerry Apelio. And up next is Political Lens with Chukwuma Okoro. Until then, stay safe and have a great weekend.